The O'Reilly Factor is on tonight.
Do you believe it was possible in 50 minutes getting all of the information that was needed from the Christmas bomber?
I'm just not in a position to know the answer to that.
Media reports state that you thought so.
The Obama administration under heavy fire for not having an effective anti-terror policy. And now things are getting intense.
Do you want to give me an opinion?
Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. President Obama's biggest gamble. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. All this talk of debt and deficits is deadly boring, but when you strip out all the math and BS, you get down to one very fascinating thing. The President of the United States is rolling the dice on America's future. Right now, this country owes $13 trillion. We can't pay it back. The interest in December alone was more than $100 billion. $100 billion. About as much as New Zealand's entire economic output for a year. Adding it up, the USA is paying out hundreds of billions in interest alone every year. That's staggering and dangerous. And yesterday we learned that the budget next year, 2011, will add another $1.3 trillion to the national debt. Really, this is unbelievable. The feds are spending $3.8 trillion in a year, and they can't pay for 35% of it. Are you kidding me? Now, President Obama says the budget is an investment in America's future because a lot of the money is going to so-called green projects that will change the way energy is used and the economy runs. The President believes we must transition for future growth, and there is some validity to that. Also, the massive spending will help rebuild infrastructure that has to be upgraded or bridges will start falling into the water. And then you add the incredible expenditures in Iraq and Afghanistan along with all the war on terror expense, and what we have is financial chaos. But the Obama administration doesn't see it that way. It believes it can run up the massive debt and somehow pay for it all down the road, primarily by raising taxes. People like me will soon pay about 50% of their income in taxes, and corporations will get hit as well. But corporations can pass the tax expense on to you, and they will. So in effect, everybody will pay more for nearly everything. Not good when the economy is stagnant. In addition, the capital gains tax goes up 5 points to 20%. This will inhibit investment in America, another big risk. As you may know, liberal philosophy holds that the federal government has a responsibility to redistribute income and level the playing field for all Americans. But the truth is, we simply can't afford to do it, not with 320 million people. Sweden can do it. They have 9 million, but not us. And we have to fight the world's villains. Sweden does not. Talking Points is afraid that the entire financial system in this country will collapse under the mountain of debt. If that happens, there will be no playing field to level. It's a scenario too frightening to think about. Simply put, the feds need to stop spending. They need to cut across the board, get out of Iraq as fast as we can, and stop the social engineering. But I don't expect President Obama to do any of that with the exception of Iraq. So there's no question the huge federal spending is the president's biggest gamble. All of our lives will be affected by it. And that's the memo. Now for the top story tonight. A tense exchange earlier today between Senator John McCain and Defense Secretary Robert Gates. The subject, how to handle captured foreign terrorists.
Secretary Gates, do you believe that the Christmas bomber should be tried in civilian court or by military commission?
Senator, I would defer to the Attorney General on the proper jurisdiction for such people.
When you fill out your form, when we confirm you for the United States Senate, you sign that you would give your honest and candid opinion in response to questions. Do you want to give me an opinion?
My honest opinion is that I think that the Attorney General is in the best position to judge where these people get tried. After all, we have
Thank you very much. Do you believe it was possible in 50 minutes to exhaust the possibilities for getting all of the information that was needed from the Christmas bomber?
I'm just not in a position to know the answer to that, Senator.
Given your responsibilities to the men and women who are serving the military in the defense of this nation, I hope you will come to a conclusion as to how enemy combatants should be treated, because I view that clearly in your area of responsibility, not the Attorney General, who has obviously botched this one very, very badly.
Wow. And there's proof to back up McCain's statement on Holder. As we reported, civilian lawyers for Ahmed Galani, charged with bombing 2 American embassies in Africa, are trying to get charges thrown out, saying Galani was denied a speedy trial. He was held in Gitmo for more than 3 years. The U.S. attorney in charge of the case, Preet Baraha, who works for Holder, says Galani had vital intelligence about al-Qaeda and was detained for that reason. Baraha opines that national security must override civilian justice, i.e. Miranda, and a speedy trial. Of course, that's correct, but Attorney General Holder is doing the exact opposite in some cases, causing people like me and John McCain to doubt Holder's competence. Now, most Americans agree with Senator McCain. Civilian trials for captured overseas terrorists aren't necessary and create more problems than they solve. And the lack of interrogation in the underwear bombing case is simply embarrassing. To his credit, President Obama ordered the FBI to put together a terror interrogation squad last summer. Inexplicably, that has not yet been done. Another example of bureaucracy not looking out for us. So there's no question the president is taking major heat on the terror front. Closing Guantanamo Bay? Not working out. Civilian trial for Khalid Sheikh Mohammed? Falling apart. Botching the interrogation of the underwear guy? Unbelievably dumb. That's 3 strikes. Now, some of the president's supporters say the White House reversing itself on the Khalid Sheikh Mohammed trial shows the president listens to his critics. But my question is this. That scenario was deeply flawed from the jump. So why didn't a smart guy like Barack Obama know that? And why didn't the president's men and women clue him in? That's what worries me, ladies and gentlemen. This is just common sense. When you have foreign killers stalking America, you don't treat them like embezzlers. You isolate the terrorists and extract as much information from the person as possible. You're not going to defeat terrorism with Miranda rights. Again, why does President Obama not know this? In the end, the Obama administration will sink or swim on 2 things, the economy and terrorism. So far, both are not going well. Or am I wrong?